I went home and cried because I was like, I don't know if I've done the right thing. Like, even though I had that fleeting moment that night, it is the best thing that's happened to me. I think I've grown so much as a person from having those businesses. After having is my eldest being like, I want to get back to being me. But that person didn't even exist anymore. I failed statistics 3 times, which is probably the most ironic thing now because my life lives out of a spreadsheet. It doesn't matter if you're so embarrassed by your first version, because if you're not embarrassed by your first version, I think you've waited too long.
If you listened to our last podcast, you would have gotten to learn a little bit more about me. So we're going to deep dive into the other half of our podcast and learn a bit more about Rach today. We're going to be talking about all the moments that made her get to where she is today, the businesses, life, and the journey in between. So let's do this.
Let's do this.
You're going to give me 5 fast facts about you.
Well, I don't think they're going to be new facts to you because I think you probably know it's out of the world.
Surprise me.
All right. Well, this one's not going to surprise you, but I'm a mum. I've got 3 kids. They are 3, 7, and 10. And the boy is wild. I know he's 3, but he is wild.
I can affirm that.
Yes. Well, I remember like when I had the girls, and everyone thought boys and girls are so different. And I was like, yeah, sure they are.
No kids.
Then I had him and I was like, whoa, people are right.
He's cool though. He's cool.
Yeah, he's definitely spunky.
girls.
Yeah, he's definitely got some attitude though. He's a teenager. Cross with just a kid that I have to try and keep alive, but he's the most charming little boy. Not that I don't love the girls, but he's a charming little boy.
He is.
And as I said to you in the last episode, I randomly did do a fashion design textiles TAFE course at year 11 and year 12.
That surprised me. I just don't see you doing that. There you go.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? So in year 11, I so wanted to become a fashion designer.
Me too.
And here we are working in the health and fitness industry.
Yeah.
No, I've had so many of those like moments. And then I went to uni and I was like, I'm not going to go study fashion design because it was really hard to get into at the time. And my design teacher was actually like, you should do marketing at uni because then you could get into fashion marketing. I was like, yep, sounds great. So I went off and did a degree in marketing.
Never touched your sewing machine again?
I once sewed some curtains the other year.
Oh, the other year.
Well, yeah, it wasn't in
Not the other day.
I overlocked the edge of the curtains for one of our years and I have never touched the overlocker since. But it is sitting in my wardrobe if anyone needs an overlocker. So I went from marketing and then in my final year of uni, I was like, I want to do medicine because they're so related. And I'd actually also specialised in law and marketing while I was at my degree. I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a lawyer. Maybe I'll be a doctor. They're so similar.
You hadn't chosen a lane yet.
I had not chosen a lane. And I guess I was 20 years old. And it's funny now I look back and I'm like, I do actually get why parents push their kids to go do a gap year or go work for a year because you walk out of year 12 at 18 or 17 in my case because I'm a January baby. You don't know who you are. You don't know anything about yourself.
But you have to decide.
Yeah. What are you going to do with your life?
Way too young to decide.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And look, I went back to uni again because, again, I'm possibly addicted to studying. So I went back after. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. Like, made a bit of a change and I met my now husband and he's so much older than me because he's 5 years older than me.
So much older. Down. It's not that much older.
And
basically our age gap.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently I like people that are in their 40s. So I was like, what am I going to do that's in this field? And in the meantime, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor, I went and did my PT course because I was like, I'm going to work as a PT while I'm in med school, like pay the bills. Because PTs were earning like $80 for a session back then. I don't know if I'm doing that. I have no idea. But that's what they were earning. I was like, that is great. And I can pick my hours. I could do a 6 a.m., a 7 a.m., 5:30. I don't want to work a cafe job when I'm sitting because that's not going to work. So that was my whole why to go and do my PT course.
There you go. Another course.
Yeah, exactly. Another course. And when I walked out of that, I ended up working in the fitness industry, which then led me to nutrition, which is what I then studied last, which was medical science and nutrition. So I had to that if I wanted to go become a doctor, I could, but I ended up falling in love with the nutrition side of things, the research with nutrition and helping people in that way. And I guess that's where
the helping people comes back into it.
Yeah. Off that, because I haven't done enough courses, I also did a postgrad.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
And I actually don't know if I knew that.
Yeah.
There you go.
So maybe I was going to become a journalist as well. I don't know. See, I don't know what my...
Hey, writing a book is not off the cards.
No, never. I wouldn't. Yeah. Watch this space.
Yeah, I will.
My third fact, yes, still talking about my university career. For some reason, besides that postgrad in journalism, all of my degrees, the whole 2 that I've got, need statistics. and physics. And I absolutely suck at those two subjects. And I failed statistics 3 times, which is probably the most ironic thing now because my life lives out of a spreadsheet. And that's what statistics was. Like it was literally entering data into a spreadsheet.
I feel like technology is really good now. And you can just add things up with like calculations and sums in spreadsheets.
I
So
think they
it is
could
a
back
bit
then.
streamlined for you
I
now.
just didn't know how to do it back then and I failed 3 times.
You know what it is? There was a lack of passion in that
Yes.
area. See?
And now I'm
and you
like,
could nail it.
let's spreadsheet everything. You have seen our to-do list that I have in our joint drive and I have them categorized by tab.
Can I just say you have spreadsheets, but then you also have lists and calendars and
Says the girl who writes everything down 3 times.
I'm old school.
I know, I do love a paper list and then I have my spreadsheet.
And a highlighter.
Like, it's good, isn't it? All right, my 4th fact. I change my hair a lot and you would know this about me. So I'm currently a brunette with no fringe, but a few months ago I was a brunette with a fringe. I've done blonde, balayage, short, long, fringe, no fringe, and that's just in the time I've known you.
Your hair changes lanes.
As much as my degrees.
As much as your career,
what
your
is this
jobs,
saying
your
about
careers?
me?
Yes.
Clearly I did not know who I was until I hit 38. 38.
Yes,
I
38,
was
there you go.
37 when I went dark, and then I turned 38, and I've decided I'm going to stay dark and stay in this career. Maybe there's something in the 38.
We need to get someone on about that.
Yeah, we do. I think we need to unpack the age of things.
I feel like 38 is definitely the age.
Also, isn't that when you technically hit perimenopause and your hormones start changing?
It's different for everyone, but it can be at that age.
But funnily enough, with that, I may change my hair all the time, and I have for years. My nail colour, as I said, no nail colour on right now, I have since the age of 18 only ever done red or pale pink.
And you don't strike me as someone whose wrist change.
No.
Yet your fingernails are.
I know, but
That is
I
a little
can't
bit
do it.
odd.
Like if you were like, you should put blue on them, I'd be like, absolutely not.
Yeah. I love blue, by the way.
I'm all for you having blue nails, but even like,
Yeah.
hey,
It is fun.
I will do all these random things, but I'm still so particular about some things, and you
Are they
can't.
your favourite colours?
No, I don't think I actually have a favorite color.
There you go.
I'm number 5. If I want something and someone tells me I can't or it's too hard and I should be this person or be that person, watch me go the opposite way to what you've told me. Because if you say I will go and do it.
You're getting it done.
Yeah, I will 100%. I still remember a conversation when I was like 23 and this person said to me, you need to figure out your lane. You're going to be great at it, but you're trying to do too many things at once or whatever. And that stuck with me because I'm like, no, I will be everything
I'm
at
gonna be in
once.
all the lanes.
Yeah, I'm going to be in all the
Don't
lanes.
tell me I
Yeah,
can't.
don't tell me I can't. I'll merge them together and make one giant lane, which I think is essentially what I've done with my life at this point. Who knows what the future holds? But if you try and tell me I can't be a nutritionist who has a podcast, who runs a retreat business, who's a Pilates instructor, who's a mum, who works in this and this, I will prove at you otherwise.
And you will do your 145 hours at night.
Yes, I will.
But it's all based around what you want. So
Exactly.
it's fine.
Yeah. And people say that to me. They're like, oh, so life's cruisier since you don't own the studios. And well, no, I actually think I work more hours now, but it's different. And they're not on call like you are now. With people, no one can call me and ask for something because I work essentially for myself most of the time. And yes, I have to have things done by deadlines, but I feel like I can now go pick up. I can go out to lunch with you if I like. I can come in here and do this podcast, do whatever I want. Those tasks are going to be waiting for me, but they're waiting for me. I can get home and do them. So I love that about my life. Okay, quick pause. Because if you've been feeling like you need a reset or a night away, this is for you.
We've just released something really special, our Yarra Valley Retreat One Night Escape, designed to help you switch off, move your body and feel like yourself again.
Think Pilates, bar, boxing, pickleball, which honestly I'm really excited for, wine tasting because we are in the Yarra Valley, plus a practical nutrition session with me. There's even the chance to have a nutrition one-on-one appointment with me.
And I'll be running a journaling session to help you get clear on what you actually want and maybe resetting your direction.
You'll wake up at the beautiful Balgownie Estate to the most delicious breakfast after our morning Pilates workout, that is.
It's one night, but designed to feel like you've been away for a week. Short, but exactly what busy women need.
Spots are limited, so head to thepilatesretreatclub.com.au to book your place. We would absolutely love to see you there.
Let's talk about what you were doing 10 years ago.
A long time ago, even though it feels like yesterday. My eldest child had just been born, so she's 10, I think.
She's 10.
She's 10. Yeah. So I was on my maternity leave from my job in public health. So I was working at a hospital here in Melbourne. And I decided, because I am the person that I am, when she was 6 months old, that I'd be like, cool, let's start a private nutrition business from home because same as you, when you had your third, you wanted to be doing something, but you didn't want to leave them.
It's that sort of freedom to work your own hours.
Yeah.
I get it. And this is literally 10 years ago. I was having my third child and you're having your first.
My first,
It was the same sort of story though. That
which makes sense because they're
working
friends
from home is easier.
Yes, it so was. And I was ready. So I was working a 9 to 5, left my work there. None of that working 400 hours a week situation. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I actually loved it. And I think I was good at it. I don't know. Maybe you should ask my boss maybe if I was good at it. But I loved it. But I still wanted more. And I guess that's why I was like, let's start this from home. Well, I'm on mat leave. It felt safe. Still probably getting paid, I think, at that point. So it felt safe.
Yep.
I was definitely learning probably who I was. I think like we've said before, I don't think you really know yourself until after you're having kids. You become this whole other person. And I don't think you can ever become the person you were pre-kids ever again.
No, I agree. I feel like you definitely have that maternal instinct of not wanting to be far away from the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
I found that I didn't want to go into the city for work. I didn't want to travel. I wanted to be close. So even if I did go to a job, it needed to be close. But working from home is just so ideal and convenient if you can.
Yeah. And even like that mentality of, I remember after having my eldest, being like, who am I? I want to get back to being me. But that person didn't even exist anymore. I think that person had completely changed. And now I look at the person after I had my second and my third, and I'm not those people either.
Yeah.
You just
do.
keep
You change,
growing.
you evolve. I feel like a lot of people get stuck in going back to what they were. And this is where they don't make the lane change and then they can't.
Yeah, you're
reversing
down the freeway. Yeah.
That feeling is there and they just don't do anything about it. So what made you change lanes? I know you've changed lanes a few times, but what was your main lane change or your last one or your current last one?
You're not wrong. There's been a lot of lane changes. Although, you know what? I think they're more like mergers. I don't know if they're like full. I feel like they just blend into the next one.
I think your last few are definitely more blendy.
Yeah.
They all back each other.
They do,
They
They
make
just kind of
sense
flow
together.
into one another.
They can be apart, but they all flow together at the same time.
Definitely. And I think that's just in my DNA. I think I just constantly looking for that next thing, that more, what else can I add to my plate and what else can I achieve? How can I grow? And so I think that's what naturally makes me merge and change lanes and all of that because I'm just not someone that stops or settles. I'm just not.
Yeah, it's what's the next step in that lane change.
What's more?
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
I guess going back to what would probably be my biggest lane change in life as well, because the other ones weren't real in the sense that, yes, I was like, oh, I'm going to become a doctor. I'm going to become this. I wasn't a lawyer that became a doctor. It's not like that has to happen. I was still studying. So those things weren't as dramatic where just over a year ago. And that was massive. I mean, I would say starting those businesses was really scary and big for me at the time. But yeah, that last big lane change was definitely selling them and stepping into this life that I've got now.
Did you feel, what were the feelings after you sold up the businesses? So that was a lane change, but then it gave you direction to go in other lanes.
It's funny because I think when it first happened, I was like, what have I done? Did I do the right thing? Like you have a bit of that self-doubt. What am I going to do now? And I still remember that first night, like I said to you, when we worked together, I went home and cried because I was like, I don't know if I've done the right thing. Like, do I still want to own that studio? Do I still want that life?
I felt your feelings that day too.
Yeah.
And so even though we cried, it was like sad and happy at the same time. I felt like I was crying for you, but I was crying for me. And it was very emotional.
It definitely was. And I'm so glad it happened because even though I had that fleeting moment that night and obviously I went home about and all the rest, it is the best thing that's happened to me. I think I've grown so much as a person from having those businesses, but also since then because I can look back at them and have lessons learned. I think that I have come out of it a really much stronger person. I think I also know now what I want and what gives me peace and what gives me section. And I wouldn't have known those things had I not had those with this lane change and why I'm so happy about where I am. Like I'm working in nutrition, I've got the retreats. I'm still working for you as an instructor, doing some other bits and pieces. And obviously now this podcast, but I love helping people and I love making a difference. Like I said that in that first episode. The whole reason I wanted to be a doctor was to help people. The whole reason I wanted to open the studio was to help people. That's still there. That is still my number one thing. there's just nothing like that feeling when you've changed someone's life with the smallest things. That's
It's
that feeling I
fulfilling, isn't
crave.
it?
Yeah.
It feels nice. It feels good.
Yeah.
We hope that people that are listening are going through their own lane change. What would you give them to take away from this episode?
Yeah. I think it's just start, because you can always merge lanes. Look at me. I've merged about 10 different lanes. I've changed lanes continuously through my life. And as many times as you like, but you can't change a lane if you're not in it. So I think you just have to start, and you have to start that process. You have to start moving, whether it's enrolling in a course, whether or not it's like resigning from your job, or that you want to start a business, and whether or not you're starting that business on the side of your 9-to-5 job, which I think is a really smart thing to do so that you've got some income still coming in, you're doing it smartly. But I think you've just got to start. Number one thing. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter if you're so embarrassed by your first version, because if you're not embarrassed by your first version, I think you waited too long. I even look at like when I started that nutrition 10 years ago, the logo was terrible. My first meal plan that I ever made anyone was horrific. I even look what I did a few years ago. And when I say horrific, like the actual editing of it and the outlay. The recipes in the meal plan were great, don't get me wrong.
Of course
But
they
like
were.
my recipe, the editing of it, they were terrible. It was just my thoughts on paper, if that makes sense. It wasn't clean and crisp. And those things came with time. And my nutrition brand evolved with time. My style evolved with time. How I even know what I'm doing has only happened because of time. But those things would never have happened if I just didn't go, okay, I'm going to do this. Made a logo. There was no Canva back then either. I'm pretty sure it was made in PowerPoint. Saved as an image.
That is a bit old school.
Yeah, it was very old school. Thank God for Canva is all I can say.
Yeah, Canva's good.
Oh, Canva is saving the day on a day-to-day basis. That you just got to do it. Make yourself the logo in Canva, hopefully not PowerPoint. Start the spreadsheet with all the to-do listings. And make the domain, register the domain. If that's what you do, if you're starting a business, just go do those things. Start the ball rolling. If you hate your business name, you hate your domain, you hate your website down the track, you can change those things.
Yeah.
You can't change the fact that you haven't started.
Yeah. If you don't start, it won't happen.
No, exactly. You won't evolve. You won't change. You won't get to where you want to be. And you won't have that feeling of peace and content and happiness. You might be happy in life in other things. But I really think I thought long and hard about what I want my life to be. And I know that I'm now living it.
Oh, that's so lovely. And you're living it with me.
I am.
In almost every aspect.
Yeah, we talk to each other a lot.
There is so much I think that our listeners can take away from our first couple of episodes. So I'm really excited to get into our future episodes.
Oh, me too. I'm literally so excited for these next few episodes.